Alright, so this is the first official episode of the Crash Pad. I got my buddy here, RB, Ruby, Flyer, whatever you want to call yourself.
Yeah,
now.
whatever you want to call me right now. Let's go, Ruby.
Future name change coming up in the mix. But he's here. We're going to do just a basic little interview and then just kind of just shoot the shit. So let's just start with like well, you grew up in California, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Orange County, that area.
Okay, so
Pretty
like,
cool.
when did you get into wrestling?
It was really just watching TV with I think with my grandma or grandpa, one of the two, and flipping through channels and then fucking popping on Raw. And then I think one of my first guys I saw was HBK, and it kind of got me into wrestling when I was 5 years old.
So HBK is what got you into wrestling, but favorite wrestler of all time, right off the bat?
It's gonna be Shawn Michaels still.
Shawn Michaels? All right. Because for me, what got me to sit down was The Rock's promo, watching Raw, but Triple H is what kept me as a fan. So I don't know. That's my story there.
What kind of kept me as a fan was like in-ring style or working with Shawn Michaels, but like as far as promos and stuff go, probably every generic Attitude Era kid, Austin.
Yeah.
Like a Stone Cold.
You were either an Austin guy or a Rock guy, and I was actually a Rock guy during that era.
Austin kind of kept me there.
Yeah. So growing up, big fan of wrestling, obviously. What age did you actually get into training and everything like that, and how did that all start?
Which kind of training would I could say? Because as far as high school wrestling goes, that was my freshman year.
Yeah, you can talk about your amateur career too.
But before that, I think we were all stupid kids at one point at 10 years old. Oh, yeah, let's try backyard wrestling. And
oh, yeah, just fucking around in the backyard with your fucking friends. And I've said fuck already twice now.
Yeah. But, yeah.
It's not family friendly, people. I know that was the one review we had on the test run, was we said fuck too much, but...
Yeah, too many people said that was the main point of, oh, you need to not cuss so much. It's like, okay, well, try not to.
I'll try.
Keyword.
That's the key word there. But yeah, you want to talk about your amateur? When did that start?
Yeah, my freshman year of high school, my amateur career, and didn't really start off too great. Like everyone likes to think, oh yeah, this great amateur wrestler. No, I'll say it, freshman and sophomore year, I completely blew. It wasn't even funny.
Oh yeah, I completely understand that. I only won one match in my 1.5-2-year amateur wrestling career.
I think my junior year, I don't know, what it took for me was a shoulder injury my sophomore year to end my season, and in my junior year just came back a friggin' beast.
Yeah, cool. Now when did you start like professional wrestling training?
I'd say 2007, as soon as I graduated high school.
Okay, now where you did that in California?
Yeah.
Okay, who was that with? Was it with anybody?
It was a school of Hard Knocks in San Bernardino.
Okay, I've
area.
heard of school of Hard Knocks. Who were the trainers or anybody like known?
Big Jesse Hernandez, the main one.
Okay, I'm not.
But also
familiar.
from EWF, we all know a lot of guys came from there, like Joey Ryan, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Frankie Kazarian.
Mm-hmm.
Just to drop a couple big names there for wrestling fans that don't watch indie stuff, or they will watch TNA, will know Frankie Kazarian and Joey Ryan for his short cup of coffee he had with TNA. But
Yeah.
I love Joey Ryan. He's an awesome guy.
So how did the training go? Like, and how long were you in the school?
It was brutal. I would say, as dedicated as I am to wrestling, I didn't really have my first pro match until 2009.
Yeah.
It's kind of a trial of, let's see what the little guy does, and just push himself far as body can take him, and I held
a lot of bumping and a lot of selling, huh?
Yeah.
Throw the little guy around. I know that a little too well.
Build character.
yeah, build character. Make the big guys look good. So how long were you working out in California for?
I would say up until I joined the military, which was 2011.
Okay, cool. Now, what made you join the military?
Well, just like life-changing. Didn't really think anything was going good for me in California, even though I had wrestling. But every generic person, I want to do something good for my country, was legitimately what fueled me to join the military, and then America. But thought I was going to take 3 years off of wrestling to do the military, and then got a phone call randomly from some random promotion in Tennessee called HWA, and then, would you like to so-and-so from HWA, I think her name was Laura, the owner of the promotion, yeah, would you like to wrestle for us? And I'm like, one side of my brain saying, no, you're in the military, stay dedicated. And then the other half, which took over, was, hell yeah, I'll freaking work for you guys. And that was
anything to get back in the ring.
a good adventure there.
Yeah.
Oh man, HWA, I can say a few good things about it and many bad things, but
Yeah, we'll definitely talk about the time in Tennessee. So I know there's a lot of bad you want to say.
Oh my god. Where to start?
So yeah, you got the call from HWA in where at? East Tennessee, West Tennessee.
It was like literally a half hour outside of Nashville.
Okay. Now how long did you work for HWA, and like how did that time go?
From the summer of 2011 when I got to Tennessee, and then got stationed at Fort Campbell, Kentucky. Friggin' 101st Airborne. Huh? So a fucking name out. So. Yeah, sounds like a smart ass. But no, I think from summer of 2011 to beginning of 2013, I stayed with them until their doors closed.
So right about the time that we met.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Stayed with them until the doors closed, and their doors randomly reopened, and I didn't get that phone call back.
Yeah. That's how it'll work. That's how it'll work.
Yeah.
So yeah, you worked with them for quite a little while, and did you work any good names during that time frame?
I didn't really work any big names. I worked on the card with a couple big names, which we did a couple shows. And one of the big ones was we did a benefit show at a church. Main event. The main event was a tag match. Two guys from HWA by the name of Johnny Demento and Kilo.
Okay, I know Johnny.
Yeah, and then the other two were Wolfie D. I don't know if you guys remember from TNA.
I know Wolfie.
Part PG-13. Mm-hmm. And then Crimson, we all know him, Tommy Mercer.
Crimson, yeah.
Another guy that got out of the military side to join wrestling.
Yeah.
But
did you get the chance to learn from any of those guys? Like, get to talk to them? Anybody that really helped your career along the way?
I did. Wolfie was pretty chill. Crimson, Tommy just kind of kept to himself. It kind of one of those things that, because he started a really small promotion, and then when he went to TNA, kind of went to his head.
Yeah.
Not trying to bash anybody, but it's life. It's how it happens.
It happens.
That's how it goes.
Certain people, they get a little bit of TV time and they'll just snap like that and right into an ego.
But yeah, between Tennessee and California, had a lot of good times. California is kind of a blur because, as far as a lot of fans know, I'm straight edge now, but it wasn't always straight edge.
Yeah.
Just going to be going on January 4 years on, recovered alcoholic, and among other things. So a lot of my California career is a blur.
Yeah. No, I completely understand that.
Come on, when you're freaking when I started at 17, 18 years old, and then freaking have my first pro match at 19, guys that are twice my age got to hang with the big dogs.
Yeah. No, I completely understand that.
Turn me into a raging alcoholic.
Yeah. But no, it's good though, because
it
covers the two bases that I want to talk about in this podcast, or overall the whole podcast, not just with you, but with other workers and other people as well, is the wrestling aspect and recovery, because there's so many guys that are in the business that end up becoming addicts or alcoholics.
Yeah, and it's horrible to see when it goes down too, and a lot of people think, oh, wrestling deaths are... Let's hop on there real quick. People think wrestling deaths are always steroid related or something like that. Not always the case. It's always the stuff, the demons that follow wrestling, whether it's drugs, alcohol, stuff like that, or just accidents, because like I said, everyone dies of drugs and alcohol. A lot of just freak accidents, like Owen Hart, for instance.
Rest his soul. So we're at the time that HWA closes the doors. Now, where did you go from there? Was it a stint without working, or did you jump right to somebody else?
That was just still a stint without working, just training and then trying to find someone. And that's when I got the call from Jeremy, actually, of, hey, we'd like to be one half. Jeremy Brake. I'll put that name out there because he's the guy who trained you.
Yeah, he trained me.
And fans listening to podcasts, oh, Jeremy, what's their last names out there? So you guys want to look them up on Facebook, you guys can, or videos on YouTube.
Good guy.
Great guy. They did tremendous things for both our careers.
Hell yeah.
But he gave me the phone call. He's like, we won half the tag team champions. I'm gonna retire, which A lot of guys do. He didn't retire, but
retired, then came back, then retired again. Gotta love him.
but yeah, want to take my place as one half of the HRE Tag Team Champions, and I'm like, hell yeah, it's gonna be my first title. I'll do it, and that was great. I was honored to be Tag Team Champions. It's just awesome. I say this sarcastically, who my tag team partner was.
Yeah.
Carried that guy on 3 separate occasions.
Yeah. No, you can drop the name if you want to. I'm not
Name of Doomsday, or I don't know. He retired supposedly. Now he goes by Scott Murphy, whatever his real name is.
Is he going by his legit name?
I don't know. That's what I think it might be. That, or he put the mask on like every other
God.
idiot that thinks I'm a masked wrestler. I'm gonna take it off and put the mask back on. It's like, no, it doesn't work that way. Once the mask is off, please keep the mask off.
Mm-hmm.
But him, he's an ugly dude anyway, so
yeah, he probably should keep the mask on.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of Doomsday either, but so that brings HRE. Jeremy brought you in to team up with Doomsday and be the
as
HRE
Mass
tag
Theory.
team.
Jeremy came up with the name, which it works.
Jeremy's got a good mind for the business.
He does. Which the match, my debut match because I technically worked both 2 promotions, HRE and TWF.
Yeah, it was that weekend.
And
the matching socks.
The matching socks. How our friendship started, both wearing highlighter yellow socks in the locker room. But then my debut match at TWF/HRE, I decided to.
Now, did I work you at that TWF show?
You
Your
didn't.
debut?
It was my second TWF show. You worked me.
Okay.
Because remember, unfortunately, I broke my ankle or fractured my ankle in 2 places. Not 2 places. I broke my ankle 2 places a year later.
Yeah.
I'll get to that later on. But
Mm-hmm.
no, it was just miscommunication. Took
Yeah.
a suplex, thinking the guy's gonna do a straight vertical up and over. No, he wanted to stall it, so my momentum kept carrying me, and he tried to save it. So instead of me trying to land on my feet, he went back still and ended me landing on my ankle wrong and broke. And I might as well say broke.
Yeah.
Fractured,
So-
broke, same freaking thing.
So
Still hurts.
Jeremy brought you in HRE. You worked TWF that same weekend, double shot type of deal.
Yeah, Jeremy paid me. Doomsday didn't.
yeah. That's the Tennessee story right there. Doomsday doesn't pay.
He really doesn't, and it's horrible. He pays his buddies, but he won't pay the guys that deserve
pay
it.
His buddies? I don't even know if he paid G3X.
No, they didn't get paid either. And I know they got paid at Jeremy's show.
Yeah,
and
Jeremy always paid everybody. He had the POs in envelopes before the ring was even set up.
Great and Jeremy's show is TWF co-main event, and in Jeremy's show, he even asked me if I can even do the match, knowing my ankle's messed up, and main event still had a great match with the rain pissing down on us, and had a great spot with everybody from G3X.
Yeah. So yeah, that's when we met at that show. We had the matching socks we got from the girl
section of Walmart.
Yep.
Not the same Walmart, but
no, but
it's just coincidence.
Yeah, that's what
Parallel
kickstarted
lives.
a friendship, and eventually now a tag team partnership.
Yeah.
So you're working now in the same area that I am, just as I'm starting my career, and obviously I'm sure you have a little bit of venting to do about TWF and those shows like that. We talked about it in the test run but
yeah, what can I say? Within like the first 5 minutes of the match, break my ankle, and then carried Doomsday the entire match. And if you guys go back, it'll be on my YouTube channel, Ruby Flyer 1989. But
shameless plug.
No, you guys, anyone wants to go and watch the match, you can see within the first 5 minutes of the match, I break my ankle and did all the big spots, every bump, and Doomsday took no bumps at all. Maybe I think he took an Irish whip into the corner and slightly sold it. This guy's horrible at no selling, thinks he's Cena.
Hey.
But Cena's good. I am now a Cena fan.
You do not diss Cena on this podcast. I don't care.
Okay.
I respect the man to death. Hardest work in the business.
Fair enough. Okay, let's backpedal. He likes to think he can do WWE stuff and Hulk up and no sell stuff.
Yeah. So yeah, TWF time, no payouts.
Oh yeah.
Working quote unquote benefit shows.
Yeah, every show was a benefit show for TWF. Unfortunately. No, just a way for Doomsday to pocket the money.
Right. Met a lot of guys at those shows. Anybody that you met there that influenced your career at all? Other than Jeremy, of course.
Other than Jeremy, there's a
Because there were a couple good guys in that locker room.
there were Deacon, I will say. May he
Deacon.
rest in peace.
Yeah, Deacon was a good guy.
It sucks that he passed away.
Mhm.
It's a little thing that was kind of a touchy subject, and I found out about it because he actually did. Like he actually talk to me on
Yeah,
Facebook. Like
yeah,
actually keep up with
definitely,
guys. He was legit. And he was cool.
Mm-hmm.
Just the fact that he passed away. That was it last year.
Yeah, yeah. Do you want to talk about?
If you have any random stories you want to ask me, whether it's Tennessee, we can still talk about the Tennessee
Oh,
thing
we can
or
still
or
talk about
Cal.
Tennessee. Go ahead.
You want? I'll say if you want to ask me anything random from Tennessee or California, I do have some great stories from both sides. You've
Go ahead,
been
man.
there for a couple of the ones in Tennessee, but
Open forum. Go on.
no. What we're talking about anyone that influenced. We'll go back on that. Anyone that influenced me in Tennessee, like I said, Deacon's one of them. Johnny Newsom a little bit. I mean, there's people with mixed emotions on him. I never had anything against him.
Yeah.
Because he was actually there for my match in HWA when I suffered a pretty bad concussion. I got spiked right on my head.
Yep.
And he actually didn't do a run-in, but he was the guy that kind of came out and did the quote-unquote distraction on Mike Cobb, and then I took the DDT, and then after I get backstage, Newsom was the first one. They're like, "Oh my God, you okay?" And then while everyone else thinking I was doing a great sell job,
Yeah.
he was like, "Oh my God,
In actuality, your
he knew,
fucking head was ringing.
I didn't remember anything after that DDT. Like literally felt like my brain shut down, and because as soon as the impact happened, everything blacked out.
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh my God!" And then later on that night in the main event, Newsom blew his knee out,
Ugh.
and then go full circle to. And I was the guy there when he blew his knee out. I actually helped him back in the locker room.
Yeah.
And helped him get his gear and stuff off. So his knee was like a softball, and then come full circle at my debut at TWF. He was the guy there helping me when I broke my ankle.
Yeah. See, it's good. It's good to help out somebody.
He actually carried
Doesn't
me.
matter.
He actually carried me to my car, which is hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I have my friends and the people there that went with me to the show.
Now, yes, there were a few guys in those locker rooms that were good. We'll say.
Aaron
but
Lucas, I'll say one of them.
Yeah, Aaron Lucas was he was my tag partner my first match. Good guy.
Yeah, and
Work.
me and him had a few good spots in the main event at the HRE show the following day for Jeremy, where I did a Hurricane Rana, which everyone, if you never worked the ring where it's an outdoor show and it rains, the ring feels like a glorified slip and slide.
Yeah.
Did a Hurricane Rana, the way we whipped was so fast, I landed perfectly, and then did think we did like freaking. I had him in a pin combo, and then I dropped back pin combo. I think we like 3 or 4 times, and then after that was pretty cool. And then even Red Rum, if you go by Joe Wildfire, now we're gonna call him. We even had a good spot where he got me up, and I kicked out of his finisher time, which was a brain buster. Which he actually, I'm glad because he told me kick out of my finisher, and I'm like, wow, that actually made me look bigger than what I was.
Yeah.
But I will say, he kind of did have one miscommunication with the wheelbarrow DDT. He went for a wheelbarrow bulldog on Aaron Lucas, and then when I popped up, he came up and grabbed me and DDT'd me, and Aaron didn't even know what was happening, so he still holding my legs. And I kind of went head first into the
spike.
Yeah, I have a fucking horrible luck of getting spiked.
Yeah. So yeah, we talked about some of the good guys that were in that locker room. Obviously, if you follow Trash Bag Wrestlers at all.
Oh my God, yeah,
Facebook,
I've been on there. A few pictures of mine have been on there.
There was a bunch of, what's the word I'm looking for here? Ham and eggers that were in those locker rooms too.
Racer be one of them.
Racer, your tag partner for our tag match.
Yeah, when we went at it, which he was just there for me to get a breather, which, again, like Doomsday, I did 90% of the work.
Yeah.
But he did take one hell of a shot to the ring post, all dome.
Yeah.
Like it's on his YouTube channel, which is Darby Crash.
It's one of them. I don't know.
Well, just look
I
up.
don't know it offhand.
Yeah, look up Darby Crash versus Ruby Flyers. How he has it named on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's no one else in the match. But if you guys turn the volume up and listen closely, you can hear Racer's head make pretty good contact with the ring post.
I swear you can hear him snoring on it too.
Yeah, and when someone's knocked out, he was pretty much dead weight, and I had to pick his fat ass up and put him back into the ring.
Yeah, it's not PG, man. You can cuss.
But
I really see you trying to hold back.
yeah, but it was a good match. Some of the spots you and Pesci had
Yeah.
in Racer, he just there for me to get a breather because again did 90% of the work.
Yeah. Yep. Here's the good one. We got the two good stories for these guys. AJ Gann, we can go on for days.
Oh my god, yeah, the guy that likes to post as Volman, as he calls himself, and then comment and like it as himself, which is now the page on a group on YouTube called #Ganning, which anytime we catch him in the act or anyone else that does it on Facebook will put #Ganning because it's a term that came up thanks to a lot of guys that work in that locker room.
And then another one, which is the only hater we had for our test run, was Tone.
Oh yeah, the guy that broke my ankle. What's his name? He went by
Tone something.
He had a few different names, but his real name is Tony Lanning. I don't care if he gets mad at me for dropping his fucking
Drop
name.
it.
Hey, I'm a honey badger. I don't give a shit.
Yeah, we got so many good stories with those guys that it's just hilarious.
Oh man, I gave him on the broken ankle one of the most wicked super kicks ever. Like at the end of our tag team title match, it was hilarious.
Yeah, I didn't catch that. I think I was probably drinking already. To be honest, yeah.
That great super kick.
I'm coming up on 9 months sober now.
Yeah.
So that's
doing good. You're doing good, man.
Yeah. Yep. Now down here in sunny Florida now.
Yeah, it's sunny, but the humidity levels are horrible.
Oh my god, it was gross out today. So yeah, and then after that, do you want to talk about the bitch?
Which bitch?
Which bitch?
Well, what? Talking about
Your ex?
My ex-wife, baby's mama, whatever you want to call her.
Yeah.
Life ruiner. What does it really say? It's like I don't know. It just we kind of falling out, and she was actually at a lot of the Tennessee shows when me and her were together.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we had good times and bad times, but it was just a horrible falling out, and me finding out I did have mental health illnesses and I needed help, and she just kind of abandoned me, and yeah, and I'm not ashamed to say it now. I ended up going to a mental hospital for 3.5 weeks because one of the many demons of wrestling that people go with, I had a suicide attempt.
Yeah. Yep.
I'm not ashamed to talk about it.
Well, that's one of the things that we're going to talk about on this platform is all the things that go with addiction. And that's one of the many things that go with it.
And yeah, now I'm slowly putting my life back together, which
Yeah.
it's good thing now I'm out here and doing my thing. We're now gonna start working out here, tag teaming and everything.
Starting in early 2016 with the promotion that should be up and coming in North Broward County. Hopefully have some details on that later on, but just got the word of that the other day. So you did that time on the 5th floor.
Yeah.
Which
Cumberland Hall, fun
which
place.
really helped you. I mean, it put you in a bad place afterwards because of all the bullshit that went on with her.
Yeah, I'm just glad that time of life's finally over at the whole court stuff, everything finally done with, because I don't know if I'm allowed to talk about that part on here, the whole...
Yeah, we won't get into the nitty-gritty details, but...
Yeah, it just... that part of my life's done with. I'm good now. I'm happy, moving on.
So, all that shit happens with her, and what actually brought you down to Florida? I don't remember. I remember you moving.
It was literally because she kept just trying to make my life hell while I was there.
Yeah.
So when I got out of the military, because I got out on honorable discharge because my contract is up. But instead of kicking me out for stupid shit, they decided to say, oh, well, he's about to be out of the Army in less than a year, so let's just let his contract run out. So that's what happened. And then a buddy of mine that was staying with me when I was going through my divorce process, stuff like that, say, oh, yeah, why don't you come down with me in Florida? And then, kind of moved when he got out of the Army, because he got out medically discharged. He literally got out of the Army on my birthday. Yeah. And then in August, we moved down here, which was pretty cool.
It's awesome, man. And
he really did it just to keep me out of trouble, stuff like that.
Yeah,
which it has been.
Yeah, understandable. Definitely with something that you went through like that, an area change was obviously beneficial.
Yeah, and I love it. I love it out here.
Yeah.
Closest thing to California I'm gonna get out here, so.
Yeah, exactly. And
I do miss California, though. I do miss family and friends and a lot of my old buddies out there, but it's good for change.
yeah, definitely. I came down here for recovery, and I fell in love with Florida. I've always wanted to work my way down here, but obviously with addiction, I worked myself into multiple different holes. So since we're on the topic of obviously I'm talking about my addiction, but you're coming up on 4 years sober January 1st.
Yeah, which is pretty awesome. Because the New Year's going into 2012, I made it my New Year's resolution to become straight edge, and yeah, it's kind of like I just quit everything cold turkey because obviously we've all I quit smoking weed before joining the army, of course, because they would do drug tests in order to get in the military. I had to pass a drug test and stop doing that, and then but because when you quit one thing, something else, other addictions become stronger. So my fucking drinking got worse than what it was.
Yep.
But no, like I said, it was actually the turning point to that was too. I realized there's one day me and my buddies hang out. It's actually before going on Christmas leave to go in that year of that Christmas of 2011 going to 2012. Me and my buddies are all chilling in my barracks room, and all of a sudden it turned into the next morning. I don't know how many bottles of Killian's freaking red ale are in my room, and then I realized there's 3 bottles of Jaeger my buddy drank between the two of us, and it's like, wow, I gotta do something. This is gonna kill me.
It's kind of like a wake up moment.
Not to mention because the stuff associated when I drink, I turn into a little Steve-O to where I do anything with anything to make everyone laugh, even includes bodily harm. So
yeah.
If it wasn't the alcohol, it doesn't kill me. It's the stupid shenanigans I did drink that's gonna kill me. So
yeah, I've been there too.
Kind of my wake up call if I need to get my shit together.
Yeah. So how's that been for you? Like, I'm obviously going through the shit with your ex had to be hard to stay sober, as well as other things throughout your 4 years, coming up on 4 years.
Really, what kept me sane, and it's gonna sound cliche, wrestling.
Yeah.
It's really kept me going.
No, I completely understand that because I put wrestling for one of the top things about keeping me sober.
Yeah.
Getting back in the ring and being better than ever.
Some guys it saves them, and some guys it can destroy.
Yeah.
We're the fortunate some of the fortunate guys that it saves. It helps. It's
very true. Let's see. Is there any stories you want to tell or anything like that? Because I mean,
man,
we can just shoot the shit. I mean, I don't give a hell.
Like, where do we go to start? It's like, Tennessee. It's also freaking worked. My debut show, I broke my ankle, and then we go to me break my ankle actually end up going to a pretty decent storyline, which a lot of indie wrestling people can think, oh, Tennessee indie wrestling, they actually have storylines. Yes, we tried to do storylines at one point.
Try is the key word there.
Keyword. We deal with a lot of stuff.
Try is the word of the day.
Yeah, we're gonna Sesame Street this.
Yeah.
But no, this whole storyline was I was supposed to have a match, and yes, they stole the freaking name of a WCW pay-per-view called War Games. If anyone remembers that, hopefully a lot of you guys do, and they're in.
I refuse to work that show.
Indie wrestling fan. Indie wrestling, yeah. You showed that show, which and me, I kind of no-showed because I said my ankle wasn't fully healed, even though my ankle was perfectly fine going into that show.
Well, yeah, it's just precautionary. I mean, it's a cage.
And they want me working. They want to do a David
half-ass roster.
Yeah, they want to do a David versus Goliath match, which I'm maybe 5'3", 125 pounds on a good day. At that time, I actually was at my good weight.
Yeah.
Until we and you worked, and I was up at a whopping 140.
Were you 140 then?
When we worked our tag match?
Yeah.
I was actually.
Oh, all right.
Because guessing the myth of here's why I no-showed, because I said I had to take care of my pregnant wife.
She gave birth that
November.
That week. Wasn't it the week?
No, it was actually we worked November 9th or something like that, around that time frame, and she and my daughter was born on November 30th, which ironically a week after the show we worked, I got in a car crash.
Yes. Yeah. You have the shittiest luck.
I do, man, and I think that tattoo on my wrist. Yes, I'm gonna sound like a CM Punk mark. I have "Luck is for Losers" tattooed on my wrist, but I have a feeling that tattoo is gonna come. It came back to bite me in the ass more times than it should have.
You goddamn Mark.
Probably gonna get that tattoo covered up at some point. Just that the clover looks so good. That's in the middle of the words.
Fuck it.
Now you said butt fuck it.
I said
Oh.
I didn't say butt. but fuck it.
No, my whole reason for not showing up at the cage show was because I said my ankle wasn't feeling too hot, and I was taking care of my pregnant wife at the time. In actuality, I just didn't want to work a cage match against a big dude that can barely work, which his name is Gilbert Gruesome. I had really nothing against him, just that in a cage match with him and just coming off an ankle injury, it wouldn't have been the best thing ever.
Yeah.
And I've seen videos of that show, and that cage looked horrible. Like, that thing rocked.
Yeah.
Like, at one point I had the idea, if I had made it to the show, I wanted to do a 450 off the cage, and I realized I probably would have wobbled and I probably would have landed on my head or something, and once again spiked myself.
I mean, that's the reason I didn't show up for the show.
So the storyline to that, yeah, which I totally agree with you why you're not showing up, but the whole storyline that bloomed off of the me not showing up was because they came up with a storyline that I got jumped outside my home before showing up to the show. Before on my way to the show, they said I got jumped. And we did this whole storyline of an unknown assailant, and I was trying to find out who it was, and then I was saying my ex-tag partner was the one that jumped me, Doomsday, he has something to do with it, and they're trying to go with this lone wolf gimmick.
It was a good angle if they would follow through with it.
Yeah, and even my debut when I came back with a fresh look. Like,
and that's when we worked.
A lot darker. I ditched the whole fucking Sonic video game.
Yeah, Sonic the Hedgehog, yeah.
And I came back with a darker gimmick, looked a lot better, and until they killed my entrance, but I had Racer didn't have music, so they had to have him come out with me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because even the look I had was, the jacket I had to go with it was sick.
Yeah, but Racer as your partner just didn't even work.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
It would have worked. It would have been great if they just had me super kick him at the end.
Oh yeah, just turn on before the beatdown.
The whole point to that was I was gonna
one of the worst beatdowns I've ever seen.
Oh yeah,
honestly.
the beatdown by the fake Doomsday Apocalypse, which was Gilbert Gruesome.
Yeah.
But the whole point to that was they're gonna still be that show that someone else jumped me, but later on I was gonna screw Doomsday out of the title during the show and say it was all set up. I was gonna screw you, and they're gonna give me two big dudes, which one of them was Apocalypse and someone else, and then give me a little faction, like I was trying to take down Doomsday, the little guy trying to take him down, which would have been perfect. Give me my two big cronies to do all my dirty work, and I was going to take out Doomsday, which I don't know how everyone loved him. He was a belt mark and a half.
There's always those guys.
Honestly, I think I deserved the spot in the Fatal 4-Way for the title more than he did, but
whatever. So obviously you've been through quite a few gimmick changes, RB Flyer, Ruby Flyer, the Sonic the Hedgehog attire.
Yeah, I actually started off in California without a mask, actually.
Did you?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, there's actually a picture on my personal Facebook page of me and doing my tribute to the Hearts, because I actually do have Canadian heritage. I do have Canadian. My granddad's Canadian and my grandma's Irish. And then, well, from my mom's side, my mom's French and Irish. And then my dad's Mexican, of course.
Mm-hmm.
But no, my tribute to the Hearts was I would rock these black and pink biker shorts, which looked.
I mean, I rock the pink too, as Sex and Candy.
I think I went by my real name because my last name is French, so it made sense.
Yeah. So
Cali Kid, Ruben Boucher.
Cali Kid, Ruben Boucher. Really?
Yeah.
That was the gimmick?
Yeah.
That's great. So you had that, the Sonic the Hedgehog.
Which I realize everyone's going to go look me up on Facebook now.
Yeah, that's true. Hey, fan base.
Screw it.
And then the name changed to Ruby Flyer as a, what was it? It was an homage to your daughter?
Yeah, the name Ruby originally was a name that kind of spawned in high school from a couple of my buddies. I was trying to come up with just random, because everyone knew I wanted to be a pro wrestler when I got older.
Mm-hmm.
And senior year is the year you figure out what the hell you want to do with your life. Most guys went to college. Yeah, it's
like
really not.
5 or 6
really
years
not.
later.
Most guys, a lot of my friends at college, I decided to just go the route of wanting to become a professional wrestler.
Yeah.
But Ruby Flyer came up was, yeah, it sounds like a good name. You're a high flyer and your name's Ruben and da-da-da. So we put Ruby. But I switched the name because my daughter's middle name is Ruby.
Mm-hmm.
So I just said to use the Ruby name as my new name instead of the RB Flyer.
Yeah. And now you're rocking a different look.
Yeah, it's pretty sick. The red, which actually goes with the name now.
Yeah, it goes with the name. Future changes for your character in general that are going to be pretty exciting.
Yes, but even though I dropped my real name, I'm not gonna drop the new ring name yet because it's a surprise.
Yeah. That's further development next year. Finally we're down here together that we're able to tag together.
Yeah,
we still got to come up with a tag team name though.
I thought we're going to Anarchist Collective.
Oh, that's right. Anarchist Collective.
The name that we thought of a while back, and then somehow Lucha Strong was a name that that was a god awful idea, but
yeah. It was just a temporary thing.
It made sense because you work strong style, I work lucha, even though I do strong style myself too.
Yeah.
So
I mean, we try to incorporate multiple different styles, but let's talk about your top 5 favorite wrestlers. We already talked about Shawn Michaels.
Shawn Michaels, of course, would be there. CM Punk, of course. That's probably be a big topic of anything in my life, my career. He's influenced me a lot.
Yeah, so Punk's influenced me as well as just punk music, the genre, and the style.
And people think, oh, you're a luchador, I automatically like Ray. I actually don't like Ray as much as people think I do.
Mm-hmm.
Like one of my favorite Mexican wrestlers would be Juventud or
Juvi. It's my favorite luchador. So we got Shawn, Punk. Number 3.
I would say Kenta is one of them, actually.
Nice, very nice. 4.
Which now Hideo Itami for WWE fans.
Oh, that's right. I always forget the name.
Kenny O is one. It has to be on my top 5 list. Kenny Omega, it's awesome.
It's pretty solid. Number 5.
Number 5 is actually a pretty hard one. Not as big of a Hardy mark as I was when I was a kid, so Jeff Hardy actually no.
Yeah. I mean, there was once a time where I was a big Hardy mark as well.
I think we all were.
Yeah, everybody was growing up at that time.
Yeah, now we have too many Hardy marks on the indie scene.
Meth Hardy.
Oh God, yeah, the freaking kid in Tennessee.
So number 5.
I'll say Eddie.
Eddie?
Yeah.
Rest in peace. Do you have any favorite matches to watch, or any favorite matches of yours that you've been in personally?
Man, from my ones that were actually put on video, they weren't as great as everyone thought they were. Like my Mike Cobb match was actually one of my favorites, even though it was first match on the card. There's really, I think like 10 people in the crowd. There's actually a match where it was a really good match, even though we had a lot of critics saying, "Oh, you guys didn't tell a story. You guys just doing too many spots." Da-da-da.
You vanilla spot monkey.
Yeah, but it was a good match because it was face versus face. We're just doing the match out of respect, honor. Mm-hmm. Kind of went the Ring of Honor look for, even though Tennessee, no one's got Ring of Honor bullshit. But that was actually the match where I got spiked on my head, and still continued the match, not being knocked out.
The show must go on. What about favorite matches to watch? So I mean, I know my favorite right off the top of my head.
Oh man, I would say one of them it's been freaking one of my favorite ones is always been the Shawn Michaels Triple H rivalry, but my favorite one was the Hell in a Cell between them, just because of how much emotion was behind it.
Yeah, it's a very good story too.
And it wasn't like overdrawn like a lot of the Hell in a Cells where it's too many weapons or just like mostly weapon spots. No, there actually was a lot of legit wrestling. I think the biggest weapon spot in it was the elbow drop off the ladder through the table. Yeah. Which Shawn had like no room up there because his head's even on the roof of the cage, kind of just fell forward instead of the actual jump he would do.
Yeah.
But as far as like outside WWE, because everyone's like, oh, WWE matches, let's throw some matches out there that no one would know because a lot of people these days don't watch anything outside WWE.
Don't underestimate the audience.
I won't. It's just anyone under the age of 13 doesn't watch anything outside WWE.
Shoot, anybody under the age of like 18 anymore.
Yeah, especially if they're a Tennessee wrestling fan. Not trying to knock on Tennessee too much. I need to stop doing that.
Yeah. They did a lot of good for us.
I'm gonna kill my whole Tennessee fan base. Watch.
Okay, so outside of WWE, favorite Ring of Honor match?
Oh God, Um, CM Punk versus Samoa Joe, their final match, for the title.
Okay.
Like Punk's his last chance at the title match, which was a very good match.
Yep.
New Japan, I'm gonna say. Yeah, I'm gonna drop it. Kenny Omega versus Prince Devitt. I think it was their second encounter.
Yeah, it's a really good match. I actually have it downloaded on my phone. And
Which for WWE fans, Prince Devitt is Finn Balor.
Yep, Finn Balor.
Or Devitt, whichever way you want to pronounce it.
Let's see, we got ROH, New Japan, TNA. Favorite TNA match?
Unbreakable 2005, Joe versus AJ Styles versus Christopher Daniels.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god, I don't know if it was the first time.
Chemistry.
I don't know if it was the first time that the X Division main evented a pay-per-view.
Yeah.
And it was for the X Division title, which was like put the X Division on the map, which the X Division is just the cruiserweight division minus. It's not about weight limits, it's about no limits. That's why Joe was a part of it.
Yeah. Man, I miss the old X Division.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Back when it was good.
Yeah. Back when it meant something, man.
Yeah. Now it's TNA's. I feel like TNA is kind of doing to the X Division what WCW did to the cruiserweight division. It's kind of just undermining it and like, oh, this ain't that great.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot of great guys that came out of the X Division to end up being like bigger than what they were.
So many guys. Let's see, what else can we talk about?
Mexico. No one's even know what I'm talking about by mentioning my favorite match from Mexico.
Go ahead. I don't really watch too much lucha, but go ahead.
It's kind of hard because
unless it's Lucha Underground, I'll watch that.
Yeah, Lucha Underground people watch,
I'm
but
so excited.
AAA. It's actually a recent match, which was it was great. Mystico, or whatever, I can't pronounce his new name to save my life. Misties or something like that versus Rey Mysterio.
I haven't seen that one.
Because Rey's back in Mexico.
Yeah, they have good chemistry together though. One of the few guys Mystico actually had chemistry with.
Yeah, it's a really good match. You watch other guys he worked with, especially in WWE, and it was the original Sakara. He botched a lot of stuff, which is bad. And I think it was a lot of mainly miscommunication, the language barrier. That or he's just trying to move faster than what he should have.
Yeah.
But their match in Mexico, a lot of his stuff from Mexico was really good because they had a lot of chemistry and good communication with the guys. Go to WWE, not so much.
Yeah. So there's some of those guys that'll get called up to the big stage and just flop.
Now you watch the new Sin Cara, which is Hunico.
Oh my god, he's doing amazing with that Sin Cara gimmick.
Yeah, which is great. And you add Kalisto to it, which was Samurai del Sol in the Indies, which mainly PWG and Dragon Gate.
Was he CCW at all?
He might have been. Actually, I've seen a few CCW videos with.
Because I don't follow CCW that much.
Yeah, CCW.
Talk about that fucking email.
Fucking shit. Yeah, there's actually email. Actually, I have it on my phone right here. I can actually.
You can read it verbatim.
I can read it verbatim. This is fucking great. So, if DJ Hyde, your list ever catches podcast, you can kiss my ass.
Calling it out.
Oh, hey, you think you can outwork me? Fucking anytime, any day. Fucking give me a phone call. You have my phone number. I send it an email, and you have my email address. So, yeah, let's fucking put this motherfucker on blast.
So let's paint the picture here to what led up to this email, which is so funny.
The email. Okay, what led up to was I was pretty much trying to find, get tryouts, stuff like that, which I had a few tryouts when I moved to Florida. WXW is one of them, which I'm not going to lie, they're a good promotion, but they had other plans for me, which I didn't agree with. They wanted me to be a referee. So, told me I'll come back later on a later date and go for another tryout and see what you guys think. But
we'll get into that after the email.
Okay, yeah. CZW, I sent them an email for a tryout because I wanted to work for CZW at one point. Don't know why, because I'm not really a fan of deathmatch wrestling, but they do have some good wrestling there because I've seen Rich Swann, guys like that do stuff there.
Drake Younger.
Yeah, Drake Younger. Freaking Ambrose, which was John Moxley.
Luke Harper.
Yeah, Brody Lee at the time, but okay, here's the email. I think is this. He goes, okay, I have nothing. Okay, here's this from DJ Hyde. I have nothing for you. My advice would be to get a good mentor, but you spelled it God, which I'm like, okay, typical fucking guy can't spell it. Get a good mentor and learn from him or her. Get training. Get to a training facility so people can help you with the business. If this is confusing, then I will be blunt. To to start, the way you present yourself and the way your manager did was beyond unprofessional. Next, I watched your matches, and you need work. Oh, need to work on your look, not the gym. Not that can help. Kiss my ass. I think I'm in good shape. But your gear, the way you act, etc. There is no marketability in you at all. Perception is reality. The way myself and my staff perceived you is that you were a third-rate worker. When your manager called, and I got your
Now, who was your manager at that time? Was that under Sean?
Yes, it was under Sean. He
Oh,
kind of
God.
he kind of fucked me on that one. That's why I don't like that prick. Well, many other things, but back to that.
Yeah, that's
when your
another
manager
time.
called, I got your email. I thought someone was messing with me. I can go on, but start there. I'm not trying to come off as a bad guy or be a prick, but this is the way you come off, or this is how you come off. And then, of course, DJ Hyde. But yeah.
Now, first off, I don't even know who DJ Hyde is. I mean, I'm not
Exactly.
big on CCW or what a lot of those guys do or did.
He was one of the. I used to be big on Combat Zone Wrestling at one point because my lisp pronouncing CZW kind of sucks. But for Combat Zone, he was one of the guys that got trained there, started being a worker, and when John Zandig, I'll mix him up with Danzig,
Fighting under the table here. That's what that knocking is.
But John Zandig, the owner of Combat Zone at the time, was going to sell the promotion, give it up, so he wanted someone else to run it. So DJ Hyde bought the promotion from Zandig and came from there, and he thinks he's hot shit now because he's now the owner of a indie wrestling promotion, even though he didn't really do anything big himself. I mean, if you go on YouTube, and he's had a few okay matches, but nothing as big as guys like Nick Mondo, John Moxley, Brody Lee.
So there was that, and then we were talking about WXW.
WXW, I actually had a tryout with them, which was not bad at all.
A much better reaction than DJ whatever.
Yeah, because the DJ Hyde thing came way after the WXW thing. WXW, I had a good tryout match with a kid that goes by Ryan Phoenix.
Mm-hmm.
You guys can look him up on YouTube, on Facebook. He's pretty cool. But no, I had a tryout match with him. It was pretty good, and it's just the fact that my positioning was off, stuff like that, because I'm used to working a 16 by 16 or 18 by 18 foot ring, and they use WWE size 20 by 20. So
yeah.
My positioning, stuff like that, was off. Even though the main thing with them was they were kind of shocked at my little ass. I was doing a Masato Yoshino thing when I ran the ropes. I was going like 100 miles per hour, hitting the ropes, coming off them. But yeah, they just thought I would have a better position as a referee. So I ended up actually refereeing that show. I did a match. The two matches I refereed one was for Jody Kristofferson, which is actually Chris Kristofferson's son, which is actually a pretty good wrestler. He was actually in WWE at one point in NXT, but he got dropped because, like a lot of guys.
That's when they were going through the cuts.
Yeah, and they dropped him because of his body and he couldn't slim down. Kind of like why they cut Hero, but Hero let himself go.
He's so fat. I hate Chris Hero.
But the match was Jody Kristofferson. I can't remember the other guy, but the other guy was actually a deaf wrestler, so that was actually another first experience for me being a referee. My first time ever refereeing, and then one of the workers being deaf.
That's crazy.
So when you do like a 5 count or stuff like that, you have to actually tap the worker to let him know you're counting.
Yeah.
And let him see you're counting.
Yeah.
And it was a good match. Jody Kristofferson actually one that went over. It was a pretty good match. He was on a clean finish because he's a heel.
And now that was what's his name?
And actually, and in
last match before going to NXT. What's his name?
Oh, Noah Kikoa.
Yes.
Actually, he didn't work that show, but that was his farewell show. He actually gave a speech at that show. It was pretty cool. It's actually, you got us all teared up because it was his farewell and he's leaving. But the second match I refereed that show was a tag team title match, which is pretty cool when it's just a team. But when one team has 2 guys and it was a handicap tag, with the other team had 3 guys. So a lot of guys, a lot of bodies in the ring, having to keep up with that was pretty crazy.
And also something.
And I got booed by the crowd because I did the typical ref thing. Oh, I didn't see when the guys switch out. They're all wearing suits or they all look the same. The guys are under masks and wearing all black. So
yeah, WXW is Alpha.
Yes, WXW down here is ran by Alpha Anoa'i, however it's pronounced.
Anoa'i.
It's ran by no disrespect to him.
Yeah.
It's ran by him, and WXWC4 is ran in Pennsylvania. That's by his brother, Sika.
Allentown, Bethlehem, Whitehall area.
Yes, and that's actually at that
Not
show.
far
I know
from
you
where
have
I
mixed.
grew up.
That show, with my tryout, I know you have mixed emotions. I actually had a pretty long conversation with Ricardo Rodriguez there because he was actually watching my. He's actually watching my tryout and giving me a lot of tips and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
And then after him tell me what to work on, he actually gave me a lot of praise. And after that, it was more of after we had a conversation about my tryout, we had a hour-long conversation about video games, like most wrestlers.
Yeah, we'll have to touch on both of our nerd status in another podcast. There's so much more we could talk about, but we're winding up here on 50 minutes again.
Are we really?
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's a typical podcast. You look at Cole Cabana or Jericho's, their podcasts go like 2 hours long. So
yeah.
I think we can.
Yeah. I feel like 50, 60 minutes is a good, solid podcast.
But, yeah, wrestling's been pretty crazy for me. It's like since my whole life. It's like I remember working in a show in Cali where I got power bombed on a table and I bounced off because I'm not heavy enough.
Yeah.
I bounced off the table and then we go from landing off the table, landing on my head right afterwards because I was not heavy enough to break the table.
Yeah.
Which was a pretty fun moment.
Which because you are a little guy. I mean, 5'3", 125 pounds. Is that what you're weighing now?
Yeah. So anyone that works me in a match, remember, go with me through the table. Do something big.
Yeah, hopefully we won't be going through tables. Save the tables.
Yeah, save the tables. Great moment on.
So big on the New Day, but
I love New Day.
Yeah, in future podcasts we'll talk more about our nerd stuff. We're both big video games and Star Wars and I think comics, X-Men, all those things. And then obviously there's more we could talk about with wrestling, and you'll be joining me once you move down here. You'll be joining me for the NXT TakeOver reviews.
Yeah.
So that's something to look forward to in future podcasts. Yet again, I'd like to thank the fans for listening. And if there's anything that you guys want to hear or any people you want me to interview, people that I could try and get a hold of, just let me know. Direct message on the Facebook page, The Crash Pad, through YouTube, through the Twitter account. The Darby Crash, I believe it is.
Yes.
I just set up this stuff. I still don't even really know how to work Twitter. But there's a multitude of platforms that you could let me know, and so that wraps up the first official episode of the Crash Pad. Let me know what you think. Leave some comments on the YouTube page, the Facebook page, yada yada, and that's it.